Welcome back to Recovering Addict. I'm LT, and I don't know if you remember, about 6 months ago, we had to take away the mouse from Felice.
I don't have a mouse.
We took it away because remember, she kept ending the broadcast. Today, she wears a hat for the first time in a year
One time.
and ends the broadcast. So
I don't even know what button it hit.
people in the Discord are cracking up. JV says, new hat mishaps. Crystal's laughing at
Did you turn my computer off? Am I not allowed to even have a computer now?
Brittany is laughing at you with a slap face, a poop emoji, a kiss, and a winky eye. And says, we still love you.
Poop emoji.
And Jim Hartley says, unexcusable. Consequences will be extreme. Believe that. For the 15th time.
Not welcome here.
For the 15th time on this show, Felice is officially fired.
At least 15. At least. Am I in the wrong one?
Oh my
I can't even find the right
goodness.
one.
I don't even know where we were. What were we even talking about?
How I ruin everything. I don't know.
Jiminy Christmas. Oh, we were talking about jumping in VR because that's where we are going to start having virtual recovery meetings. There already is an NA guy in there who's doing some speaker meeting stuff in there, which was pretty cool. But you know how we roll. We're not AA or NA, and we're going to do it the RA way.
Give a second for everybody to find us again, I guess, huh?
Repost.
We're here.
I have to redrop this on
I put it on the Facebook group.
the YouTube one.
The new link? Yeah.
Oh, great. Now we got to work longer. Look what Brittany says.
Ah.
Just
I'm
kidding.
never going to bed.
As the words of John, now looking for another executive producer, acquire within, taking applications immediately.
You're hired. John, take my spot.
All right, let's jump into this book really quick. Russel Brand, eloquent dude. He's a hard reader to read because he writes really eloquently. And I'm not eloquent like that, but you know, I'm here. I'll try. He says, you know me, right? You know I hate systems. Who doesn't, right? The systems, a bogus set of instructions for us, the people, to follow, while we, the truly free, willow in privilege. So imagine my initial resistance to the system, the 12 steps. Don't tell me what to do. I'm an individual. I'm a maverick. I'm a hustler. I'm a poet wandering through the wind-lashed wilderness, screaming my song into the poof-faced and judgmental world. It's kind of the way we all approached recovery, right? Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Do you know who I am?
Tell
I
me.
live my life, and I don't have a problem. I'm in denial, and I love it. Everything good? Y'all back online? What's going on?
Cleaning up my messes.
Especially as, in its original form, the 12 steps, right? The 12 steps say the word God, and freely and as frequently as ecclesiastically tore it suffer. I sat in chilly rooms in the British countryside and chastened and desperately looking for the black edicts on the wall, thinking, maybe for you, but not for me. Curiously later, examination of these principles revealed that self-centeredness, egotistical thinking, is the defining attribute of those addictive conditions. Self-centeredness is a tricky thing. It encompasses more than just vanity. It's not just Fonzie looking at himself in a self-satisfied wonder and flexing his little tush. No. Here is a more opaque example of self-centeredness. If your partner is a bit wayward, you know, selfish or difficult, and you cast yourself as a downtrodden carrier pacing behind them going, I don't know what they would do without me. That is another form of self-centeredness. You are making yourself and your feelings about the situation ontological. You are the center of the world. Is there a different way that you could be? Especially as we know, do we, the you being you and being me as the absolute alpha and omega of the world, flick on the TV, glance at your feed? It's all about me. Me, the perfect product, holiday hair, tonic, telephone provider for me, my unique self. Well, that's just fine and dandy, but I don't really know what me is or what me wants. And now I'm beginning to question, if thinking about me all day is doing me any good. We are so self-centered and so egotistical, especially in our addiction. Even if you're playing the, oh, look at me, if this person didn't have me in their life, where would this person be, in that type of way, is a self-centeredness. And then we're trying to fix ourselves, and we start realizing that, hey, me thinking about me and not having an open mind to be able to understand that outside help is going to help, like a 12-step program. Nope, that's not for me. I know what's best for me. And we have a saying in the rooms, our best thinking God is here, right? And that's what he's trying to get us to understand, is like your self-centeredness, your me, constantly selfish, egotistical thinking is why you're the way you are. So is continuing to think about me the best thing for me, right? When you don't even know what you want, you don't even know what you like, you don't even know how you feel, you can't even handle how you feel. He says, the first time I saw the steps, I thought, it's a bit religious, a bit pious, a bit ambitious. There was the Christianity feel, right? Look at the third step. Turn our will and our lives over to the care of God. Steady on, old boy. That just sounds like a cozy version of ISIS. He goes, but now.
Quite the conclusion.
I know that you could be a devout Muslim with a sugar problem, an atheist Jew who watches too much porn, a Hindu who can't stay faithful, or a humanist who shops more than they can afford to, and this program will effortlessly form around your flaws and attributes, placing you on a path where you were always intended to walk, making you, quite simply, the best version of yourself possible to be. In my case, and as you will see, this includes my good many flaws, some odd thoughts, and occasional behavioral outbursts. He finally, and this is coming from a successful person, and I think it's harder for successful people because they are so pampered over. They walk out the door, they buy whatever they want, they go wherever they want across the world, and it's not a problem for them. And anywhere they go, everybody's telling them how good they are and how amazing they do. And you want this, everything's just given to you, once you hit this certain level of success. And this is where this guy is. And so to have to humble yourself and realize that you're not in good shape, and to be the best person you want to be for yourself, he finally had his eyes opened to the fact that the 12 steps, the simple 12-step program written back in 1935, pulled from the Bible, is something that could help him. And not only can it help him, it can help anybody with any type of problem and any type of addiction, because this pathway of these 12 steps is a simple solution to raise your moral value and help you understand the defects that are within inside you, and then to build relationships, healthy relationships across the board. Way good stuff. I love Russel Brand. I love the way he thinks. I love the way he talks.
Yeah,
and so,
I like the way he talks.
If you're the first time you're ever hearing the 12 steps, I'm going to read them out loud, and he asks for you to note how you feel about each one as they're read. So if I read a step, we'll pause for a second and see how it makes you feel. Even if you've done the 12 steps before, see how you feel now compared to when you reminisce back when you first heard the steps. The first time I really heard anything about steps was always in the movies or in TV shows. He's on step 7. I never even read the steps all the way through until I finally got to my IOP. And so to hear that stuff, it was just this kind of like vague, oh, I guess there's something that addictive people do. And it was always the apology step that's highlighted in the movies, right? Somebody's always apologizing to somebody, and that's what step they're on. And so I didn't really have an emotion towards them one way or another until I became addicted, and somebody threw them at me and was like, read this. And the first step is that we admitted we were powerless over our addiction, that our lives had become unmanageable. And I was like, powerless? Are you kidding me? Look at me. Look what I've done. Look at the things I've done. Look at my resume. Look at where I came from, and look at how much I've achieved. That now I'm not powerless. I can handle this. 3 sips of whiskey later, proved myself powerless, and had to eat humble pie and admit, I am powerless over my addiction. And then I look back over the chaos of my life for the last 4.5, 5 years into my addiction, was completely unmanageable. And so my first initial feeling towards that first step was bull crap. And then my honest, ego out of the way, dropping my pride, was I need it. I need, that's me to a T, Surrender is what I guess you could call it. Step 2 is we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity, meaning we were living insane, right? How does that make you feel? That a power greater than yourself? What is there a power greater than myself? I am the greatest power in the world. Do you still feel autonomous? You still feel in control? Look at your life over the last couple of years and see how much control you have. And trying it on your own, how long have you been trying it on your own, and is it working? If it's not, then something needs to change. We made a searching and fearless moral inventory of step 3, sorry. We made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. Step 4, we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Step 5, we admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrong. Step 6, we were entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. 7, we humbly asked him to remove our shortcomings. 8, we made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. We made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. Step 10, we continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. Step 11, we sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him, praying only for the knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry that out. Step 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to addicts and to practice these principles in all our affairs. How does that make you feel? Let me know in the comments. How did the 12 steps make you feel? How did they make you feel if you've gone through them and now have a love for them as I do? I always challenge everybody to memorize the 12 steps. And I've done this with myself. I've come up across a problem in my life, a character defect, something I feel is making my life unmanageable. And I can lay on the couch, or if I've even treated somebody wrong, I can lay on my couch and I can identify that character defect, and I can meditate my way through the 12 steps, thinking about it. I think, okay, I acted this way. I am powerless. and that action makes my life unmanageable. And I need to rely on a power greater than myself to restore me to sanity. And so right then I decide to turn my will and my life over. And in step 4, I do a fearless and searching inventory, right? And so therefore I look at the character defect as it is and the root cause of that character defect in meditation, just, on the couch or on the bed. And I give it to God, and then I talk about it the next day or something. And then I look at the character defects and I become willing. And then I ask for God to remove them. And then I try to, as much as possible, apologize to that person. And then I do this every day. Step 10. And doing this is actually improving my conscious contact with God. That is a part of that. And then step 12, boom, you go back and you talk about it and you share it out to those who need to hear it. So I encourage you, if you don't have them, if you have a love for the 12 steps because they are helping you through life, memorize them.
I like it. Welcome, Bob Smith. I'm glad you made it.
Hey, Bob.
Jamie says the 12 steps at first make me overwhelmed, and I didn't understand why I needed 12. But they have changed my life in so many amazing ways. Life with a purpose from the 12 steps. John V says they changed my life in all of its forms across all my addictions / defects. Very cool. Jamie says I understand the steps more as I go. Oh, what's up, Big Hump?
Big
I
Hump.
feel like I haven't seen you forever.
I know. That's a good name to see on there.
12 steps at first had me like, why do I need these? But now I know I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for the 12 steps. He says 12 steps for me started with alcohol, and now I work them for my sugar and food addiction. Very cool. Sawyer Bar. What up? Oh, Sean says the steps are the reason I'm still sober today. That's very, very cool. Bang. Do you want to show them a cover of the book one more time? There you go. That is the book if you'd like to buy it.
see if I can do that halfway face thing.
Ooh, almost.
It's harder than you think.
I always don't notice it's a troll till after I put it up there. I'm like, dang it.
Where's the troll?
Sawyer.
Oh, you know what I need to do is I forgot to add admins back into the YouTube channel to kick the trolls.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a new YouTube channel. So I'll have to redo that with everybody. So if you want to be an admin, send me in the Discord a link to your YouTube name or whatever, and I'll add you.
That's funny.
Dodge a wrench. You can dodge a troll. All right, so here's Russel Brand's version. He rewrote the 12 steps in a way that would make it easier for him to understand. He says, here is how I look at these steps now. And it's how I invite you to look at them too. I certainly, whatever that word is.
What is it?
Oh, never mind. It certainly demystifies it. I've probably overcompensated it with the F word. But my point is that this is a practical system that anybody can use. So look at your life and the addiction that you're in or out of now, but look back at your life and ask yourself, are you a bit effed? Are you a bit fucked? That's step one. That is step one. Are you screwed? Are you effed up? Answer is yes. Step two, could you not be fucked? So are you a bit effed and could you not be effed? Moving on to step three, are you on your own going to un-F yourself? No. And then in step four, write down all the things that are effing you up or have ever effed you up, and don't lie and don't leave anything out.
Thanks, Sean.
Your discretion is advised.
Here's our warning label.
I love that. It says make a searching, a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. He says, write down all the things that have effed you up or have ever effed you up. Don't lie and don't leave anything out. So when you look back at your life, if something bothers you to think about, we have those little memory flashes, a lot of people call it PTSD type stuff. One that happens to me is Link's accident. I still get these little flashes of like holding him as he's laying there on the ground. And like those will just hit me out of nowhere if I'm driving, and it's just like, ugh! And those type of emotions and that thought makes me want to just like, whoa, okay, get rid of that. Whoa, don't focus on that, cut it off, push it away and think about something else. In this step 4, those type of thoughts and those types of emotions, if they come up, deal with them, write them down. And that's the stuff he's talking about. Write that stuff down that has effed you up. And don't leave anything out.
In there or spell it out?
Oh, it spells it out. I'm trying to keep this a little bit kid-friendly.
Brad says it sounds dumb when you say it like that.
Well, I want to be just over here just cussing me out every 5 seconds. Jeez. We're not all from Mississippi, Brad. So yeah, don't leave anything out and don't lie. And then once you've written that down, honestly tell somebody you trust about how fucked up you really are. It's hard to do. Step 5 is a hard one to do. And then step 6, he says like this. Well, that's revealed a lot of effed up patterns. Do you want to stop it? Question mark. Seriously? Question mark. Are you willing, step 7, are you willing to live in a new way that's not all about you and your previous effed up stuff? You have to. Step 8, prepare to apologize to everyone for everything affected by your being so effed up. Step 9, now apologize. Unless it would make things worse. I love the way he writes it down. Step 10, watch out for effed up thinking and behaviors and be honest when it happens. I love that because that goes right back to that thing we watched at the beginning with Jordan Peterson. You want to change something in your life tonight? Sit down in your bed and meditate on things you need to change tomorrow that you're doing wrong. Confront them and change them. Action. That word action, that was the name of the IOP I went to. I didn't think about it until obviously months into my recovery, it's like, oh crap, action. That's why this place is called that, because you have to do it into act. You can't sit in a corner and think yourself into better thinking, as Bill would say. We have our very own Bill. It's like Bill W is freaking reincarnated.
Yep. Bill W is
Whoa.
now Bill S. Oh my gosh, look how hard they're laughing. Like
Oh. All righty then.
funny.
That's awesome.
That was awesome. If Tracy was drinking something, she'd have spit it out.
Oh man. Step 10, he says, watch out for your fucked up thinking and behavior and be honest when it happens. Step 11, stay connected to your new perspective. That's a good thing to change, is your perspective on life.
I like that.
His accident changed my
Holy cow.
perspective on life. And now I realize I'm just passing through this earth. I'm not going to make it out alive.
None of us are.
None of us are going to make it out alive. Life is risky. That's why nobody makes it out alive. And to sit there and do nothing about your life and about your addiction is going to cost you more than it would if you put it into action and actually did something about it. It's going to cost you more to try to play it safe than it is to actually take a risk and live your life. You might as well live it, because one day you're not going to be old enough to even remember it. And then you won't live past that. Not to be a Debbie Downer, but that's a fact.
Can I quote to that?
Mickey's got a quote.
It always seems impossible until it's done. Nelson Mandela.
Always seems impossible till it's done. Nelson Mandela. And then on step 12, he says, look at life less selfishly. Be nice to everyone. Help people if you can. I love that. Look at life less selfishly. Be nice to everyone and help people if you can.
Beautiful. Let's see. I be Charles. Understanding it fully gives you the route through it, but your eyes need to be open. He said that reminds him of the lyrics. The skin and bones is a rental. Dark but true.
Yeah,
Action does speak.
I like
lamps.
that.
I do too. Or just meat
awesome.
puppets.
This skin and bones a rental.
Sometimes.
Quickly.
Quickly.
Sometimes slowly.
It has been tedious for me. Slow learner, I guess. That's okay.
Ditto.
No biggie.
Service work, help out the newcomers. Amen, Mo. All right. That is now 8:38. Yeah, Petey, this is going to be a good one. We'll be going over this. I was going to go through Jordan Peterson's 12 rules on life. We're actually starting that tomorrow in group. And since Brad and them are doing the audiobook out of this, I just thought I'd stick with what's going on in the Zoom meetings during the week, and we can just all collectively be thinking about the same book. And I just thought that would be better than trying to do two different things at once. And so once we finish the 12 steps here and on the live stream, and Brad's finished in the audio, however, they're doing that on Tuesdays. So Tuesdays in the Discord at 1:00. There's discussions about the book we're going through, and we can discuss it all week long. It doesn't just have to be on Tuesdays. Monday, we can bring it up. Tuesday, we can bring it up. You know, Tuesday is the day that Brad has planned to listen to it, and we can listen to it. And it's a good thing to hear things over and over and over, especially us addicts with thick skulls need to hear it over and over and over, because when it finally sinks in, it sinks in good. At least that's the way it works with me anyway. But that being said, let's bring on our awesome team members.
The Bill and Tracy Show.
Hey, tribe.
How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
There's our very own Bill W. and his wife, Tracy.
Happy birthday, Linky.
Wow.
I didn't notice this. They added something to StreamYard called background music.
Yeah, that's cool.
Nice. Very
We'll just do
nice.
some acoustic. There we go.
Perfect.
It's beautiful.
So
I'm
what's up? How you
excited
guys feeling?
This Russel Brand book. I like listening to it on Audible because he's got that accent, and just hearing him and his perspective and his different tones. It's really cool. So if you're not a reader, you can listen to it on Audible.
Yep. Lucky people with British accents, they instantly get 3 extra points of their IQ.
Accents and glasses, 5 points.
Yep. 5. You're smarter when that happens.
Mm-hmm.
So what's up with you guys? What'd you plan for tonight and how you feeling? What's an update? I haven't seen you all week.
I'm doing okay, but I'm tired of sleep. I got tired of sleeping on the couch all week.
Tracy, update had the vid.
Had the COVID. I'm good for 90 days. Freedom.
That's cool.
And I was vaccinated, just saying. So not sure about that out there. You can still get the vid.
Yeah, I've seen it in the media quite a bit right now that a lot of the like the Geraldo Rivera and all them guys are feeling a little duped. They've been talking about it.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
whatever.
I heard the new Omicron is actually affecting people that are vaccinated more than people that aren't.
True.
Mm-hmm.
IB Charles. He says, "No, thank you very much. I'm 5 points already."
Glasses and an accent.
Hopefully I nailed that.
Yes, PD, you can accept Link's friend request.
Yeah, that is Linky. So Linky lost his phone, and so we got him a giant one that can't be lost.
So what did he do? Locked himself out of it.
So then he locked himself out.
Good job.
Had to jailbreak it. But now he has Facebook, so y'all are probably going to see a lot of friends and likes.
I love it.
Now I picture you with a monocle,
Topo, good
top hat.
and a staff thing to
Yeah.
smack you with.
That is who IB Charles is in my brain.
So I want to talk a little bit about one of my favorite quotes from Russel Brand.
Good idea.
I like it.
In your life, you're faced obstacles, inner and outer, that have prevented you from becoming the person you were meant to be or are capable of being. And that is what we are going to recover. That's why we call this process recovery. We recover the you that you were meant to be. And that's kind of like been my whole theme since I going through the steps and everything. It's just being my authentic self and figuring out who that was. And, you know, he talks in his book about he had a really hard time with that because he was always busy, very functional, doing all kinds of things. And that's how I was when I came into the program. I had a job. I was a people pleaser, but I was beating myself up. I didn't have any self-worth, but people didn't realize that because I could wear the mask, all the different ones, really well around other people. And so he has a lot in here that I didn't think about when I was just going through regular programs. So I feel when you do the steps almost every day. Whenever I have a problem, there's 12 steps to get to the solution. And, and I couldn't sit still. And the whole thing that he talks about, always your brain running and you running until you can learn to get that peace and sit still and really think about the steps like you were saying, LT, that's when you really start able to change those behaviors and start processing into a more authentic and better you.
Mm-hmm. I think real quick, I want to tap back in on what you said about recovery. Because when we do our computers, get viruses and things like that, we have to recover, the pictures lost, the data that's lost. And he even says that in his book. He says, think of yourself as a computer with a virus. And the 12 steps is a code that's going to cleanse you. If you follow this path, if you do all the things suggested in this book, it will induce a change in you. And that's what we're doing. We have a virus now, our addiction became a virus that is completely deleting our pictures, our social profiles, and you know what I mean? And we have to recover this lost data of who we were. And that's a whole chunk of our life that goes missing. And that's where that term comes from. What is that? Arrested development. These viruses, these codes stop our maturity. And then we have to recover who we were before and then start to grow again.
Yeah. Just like me getting the COVID. That was God's plan. And I knew it. I knew I was running hard and I wasn't slowing down. And I knew I needed to slow down. And it took me getting a virus to actually stop and slow down and reset, and gave me too much time to think. Got a little black there for a little bit, but then I knew what to do. I got my journal out. I started writing. I was reading my devotions. I started reaching out to people, and, you know, I brought myself out of that darkness and cleaned up that virus, just like you said.
You know, that sitting on the bed thing, I think that goes hand in hand with journaling. You know, if you get up in the morning and you do your best to get that conscious contact with a power greater than yourself, and then you read your meditations and you meditate for a minute, you can sit down with your journal and go over exactly how you feel about your behaviors and what you need to do. And, you know, when you put it on paper, you can go back in time after, you know what I mean, for a little bit of time. You can go back to that date and read on it and see where you were then and see the growth a lot easier at that point too.
That's a great way to look back on things. We were talking to a guy earlier today that was, you know how when you first start getting clean, to be able to, you want that instant gratification. You're like, I quit using yesterday. Why isn't things better right now? You know? And I think to write down those frustrations, and then, you know, 6 months later, you look back at that frustration and you're like, whoa, look how far I've come.
You know, when I think about my first 30, 60, 90 days, I remember working a job for 12 hours a day, head running because I was by myself, and having to ask my higher power to relieve me of the bondage of self about every 3 or 4 minutes. And you know, it took almost 9 months for that to go away. But when I decided to quit smoking cigarettes, guess what? I had a time frame to work with, and I knew about how long it was going to take me to stop having the anxiety issues and all the other stuff that I was having from not having the cigarette to cure that problem. You know what I mean? So yeah, you learn your time frames from the first time you're in recovery, and every time you use it on something, you know, you start to see a pattern of how long it takes. If you're pig-headed like me, it takes a little while.
Right? Yeah, true. John says journaling is the cornerstone in all of this. Could Absolutely. Be paragraphs, could be poetry, could be a video entry, could be an audio entry. The communication back to your journals is essential. And I kind of feel like our YouTube channel is that. What?
It's a good job done.
I think you were pointing to something behind me.
It was really before.
There's ghosts in our house. I knew it.
John B.
I kind of feel the same way with like my YouTube channel, and I imagine John probably feels the same. When I go back and I look at like Felice and I's first live stream, even the first, 6 months of our live stream, and how far we've come, being able to speak about what we're talking about and just the, everything that surrounds it. Just you see growth. It's awesome, and I love growing.
Bob says I got brutally honest, particularly about sex. I had forgotten just how honest when I turned it into my sponsor. Lord have mercy. He really knows me now.
And Russel Brands talks a lot about that in his book.
Yeah, he does. We're going to deep dive into that stuff.
That's probably why I picked a sponsor sicker than me.
Find somebody you trusted who was way worse than you were. And that is true. We are only as sick as our secrets.
No.
It's funny how that works, huh? And how long it takes us to realize that, until you finally are out there open and honest and reaching out for help and then doing what it takes. You're going to remain sick.
Yeah, my sponsor at the end of my step 5, she told me this joke about, she asked me, she's like, did your chicken die too? And I'm like, what? And she goes, yeah, you choked your chicken. When I choked mine died. Did yours die too? And it like broke all that. We had spent like 9 hours processing step 4. And I had to realize, yeah, everybody does really sick things, and getting rid of those secrets and realizing that the person sitting across from you that you have on this pedestal, because we have a tendency to put our sponsors on a pedestal, that they're just another addict, and we do some really crazy, insane stuff, and there's nothing that you could do that doesn't make you redeemable.
Yeah, most people, when they get into recovery, they feel like they are redeemable. I know I did. And what's really funny, by the time you get to the 9th step, you're like, wasn't that bad.
That's who you're saying I'm sorry to.
Well, that might be, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like the 12 steps is the way to climb back out of the hole you've dug. And you know, the hole's only as deep as you dig in it. So when you put down the shovel and start to climb back out, you can start to fill it back in.
Yeah.
Charles says the freedom of speech. Ironic, we are kidnappers of ourselves and we don't see it until speech.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to talk about it. Puts things into perspective and reality, all that kind of stuff. Polly Pinch says,
How's Dan?
How's
Let us know how
Dan
Dan's doing?
he's doing great.
Dan's doing all right. Shout out to John real quick. Tuesdays on the Venture, talking about a better relationship with food.
I'm going to drop his YouTube link in the comments.
Yep.
Make sure you check him out.
Erlinski. There he is.
I had my first half-baked potato in 2 years today, and it felt good to like reintroduce potato to my life again, and not
love
like
the
eat a ton of them.
That's a good resource that now that you're bringing that up. What's it called? What's that book called? That you and Tracy were reading?
Oh, the Effort Diet.
Yeah,
called
that's it.
Goes right with Russel Brand's book. It's called The Effort Diet. And if you struggle with food and a relationship with food, and food's a really psychological beatdown for you, whether it's overeating or undereating, this is a good book just to get you back into perspective with food and feeling better about yourself and, you know, whatever shape or form that God's designed you to be. And then how to healthily cope with food. The Effort Diet.
Yeah, because diets can become an addiction and obsession of themselves. I was counting so many calories or micronutrients, whatever, and afraid to eat everything, and to finally just be happy with my body where it's at and not be on a diet, but to live a healthy lifestyle in recovery and surround myself with people that hold me accountable and help me grow and help me work out. And it's just amazing. I love where I am right now.
Yeah. That book kind of blew my mind when she was like 1,500 calories is you're putting your body in a famine. I was like, what?
I was only eating like 700 to 900 when I first got to RA, and I'm like, oh, wow, I don't eat enough food.
Yeah. We should eat like 2,500 at least.
That's like us
of
saying,
healthy, good food.
let's go to Vegas and then only putting a quarter of a tank of gas in your car.
Yeah. Especially how hard we work out and stuff. Like my mind was blown.
And that hike alone we went on 2 Sundays ago was, 1,000-calorie hike.
Yeah, at least.
At least.
It was amazing. Going on top of a mountain with snow and overlooking the valley. And seeing
Crystal.
And Crystal.
Crystal was a rock
Hey.
star.
She
Yeah,
was a
Crystal.
table here that day. She did really good.
And I will make a public amends to her because I told her, she's like, well, what about snakes? I'm like, oh, they're in hibernation. She's like, well, I'm afraid of heights. And I'm like, oh, don't worry about it. We'll be surrounded by trees. You won't have to do nothing.
Yeah, what trees?
I know. I don't know what height we were going on. I think it's
Here we are.
I love you. And
Here we are standing on a cliff that any moment the snow could just give away and we're gone.
I
It
think
was fine. It was fine.
when you guys were
These are
talking about how dark it looked on the Ogden side, and then you look over into the other valley, I mean, all you could see was steam coming off the lake, but it was clear, and I'm like, we're breathing that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that nasty
Oh.
black air.
Yeah, that did not help our sickness out at all. There's Epi.
Hey, big brother.
Yeah, you got to give StreamYard permission to show your name. If you're in the private group, FYI, it is private, so it's a anonymous thing. We still respect all that.
Right now.
Oh, that's funny.
got
Yeah,
Discord?
Crystal did good. Like that was the perfect example of facing your fears and punching them right in the face. You know what I mean? Blasting through it. And what did she do it with? A group of people who were there to encourage her. And Bill, hats off to you for staying behind her the whole time and just you were back there, a voice of encouragement and strength, and the fact that she knew you were there.
Matt talk.
Matt talk. It was awesome.
I could just tell how scared she was when I finally got up to her. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'll stay here and make sure she doesn't fall down the mountain. Because the way she was bent over, I was thinking she was going to lose her balance.
And she would cry, and then she'd just keep going, and she'd cry and just keep going.
What she
Yeah.
said at the
Overcome
top
that.
of the hill was true. She'd say, I can't do this. And then she'd take another step because I was behind her saying, you're okay. You're okay. I'm right here.
Which is like, I mean, that was recovery lived. That's recovery right in a nutshell. You know, you go and hang out with some people that can do it and can take you with them. And the whole time you're kicking and screaming saying, I can't do this. And they're going, yes, you can. And you get to the top and you're ecstatic about what you just accomplished. And I'm going to show you guys a picture of the,
I know, so cute. She's called all her kids and showed them how high she climbed.
this is a picture of where we were and what we're talking about
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
everybody.
So cool.
Way cool. Let's see if I can zoom in. Whoa, hey, Bill.
Well, hey.
There's Bill.
Whoa, hey, Bill.
If you didn't know, that's Bill.
But that's the cliff we were on. I mean, we're up there. We are on the top of a mountain in Utah, and those are ski resorts back there. And
Yep.
all of us hiked up this hill, you know, trucking in knee deep snow. Man, it was a good time.
Yeah, that
Can't
was
wait
fun.
till next week.
I know, me too. I was bummed about this weekend,
Yeah.
but oh well, it happens.
Right. God gave us a timeout.
Yeah,
Time
Told
out.
us to slow our roll.
yeah, it was beautiful. That was
Slow
so
down,
fun.
Clean your house.
God's
Crystal
telling
in
you
here? I
guys-
hope she's watching.
Oh,
She wasn't here. I don't know where she went.
She probably lost the feed.
She was in the Discord. She knows. I'll find her.
The only time I wear shorts or I wear pants, Charles, is if I have to go to court. And that's because the judge won't let me in unless I have them on.
He even wore shorts in Montana, and it was -19.
Yeah.
I was impressed.
I was wearing pants.
I had on a heated vest.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of spam today.
Yeah, I need to get the moderators back in there. We're a new channel too, so we're getting.
Yeah.
It wasn't really that cold on the hike. By the time we got to the top of the mountain, we were shedding clothes and sweating.
Yeah, it got hot.
Yep, I won't wear snow pants on a hike ever again.
Just some leggings and a pair of joggers, good to go.
Yep.
A little cold to start, but man, it gets hot.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'll tell you, what, Jackie and Megan, they're little rock star dogs. Jackie has no fear right on the edge of the cliff, just looking down.
Yeah, making us all nervous. 20 foot of trees. Yeah, we were up there. It was awesome. Oh man, if you haven't seen Sean Leary's new music video, y'all check it out, man. It was a good one. Hit me right in the fillers.
He's a sober singer, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. He's good. Real good.
I get the hiccups.
Cool. Well, we got about 2 minutes left. Anything else you guys want to hit on before we bounce out of here?
Are we going to do the Discord questions? Are there any today?
Oh yeah.
Ding dong.
Sometimes they are, and sometimes there's not.
Mm.
And I got to find them because Discord has been rearranged in a good way.
While he's looking, has anybody watched the Netflix series Cheer? Completely obsessed.
I like cheerleading.
The coach is awesome. I just downloaded her audible book. It's just really good. That's where they talk about mat talk. Because they have 40 people on the team, but only 20 people get to actually be on the mat and perform. And so the other 20 do what's called mat talk and have to encourage the ones that are on the mat. So it's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Not being just always ready to go in case somebody gets hurt.
And if Felice recommends it, you know it's good. Because she recommends all kinds of good stuff. If I'm having a bad day, she sends me a good song. I'm struggling with food, she gives me a book. Listen to the woman. She's wise.
It's really good. Okay. We will definitely go longer tonight. And of course I got to do my awesome little intro here. Discord question of the day comes from Jim Hartley. He says, can you elaborate a little bit more on the saying, a drug is a drug, period? People in early recovery could very well pass up a chance at MAT program because everyone goes around saying a drug is a drug. Not all drugs are bad, but some need to be taken properly. I had to try to explain this to a friend that was going to quit his Suboxone because of this saying. You two want to go first on that one?
Well, you know, Suboxone is a replacement therapy drug, and you really need to wean yourself off of that anyway. I've gone through 4 or 5 surgeries since I got clean, and I can tell you that you need to go into that with a plan, but I wouldn't recommend you take any of the drugs they were giving me for after surgery. As far as the other goes, you know, most of the coins that you get in recovery say to thine own self be true. So if you're acting out in any way, shape, or form, that's your addiction. And if it's not, you know, I mean, I'm not here to tell you whether or not you can take something, especially if you're really working well with your doctor and possibly a sponsor on how to do this the right way. You know, there's plenty of literature on how to still be in recovery and actually have to take medication, because you're not ever going to not have to take medication. I can tell you, the older I get, the more medications they keep trying to push at me, and I have to really pick and choose how I feel about them after I take them.
And before I got my certified peer support specialist certificate, I was one of those people in the rooms that are like, if you're on Suboxone or you're on MAT, you're not clean. And I was very judgmental, and it was wrong on my part for me. Going through that training and then working at the place that I work and seeing that these women cannot get off the streets. They've lost their kids. You know, they're at a point that they're going to die, and they've got on MAT or Suboxone or the new shot, I think it's Vitrol or something like that.
Vivitrol, yeah.
Yeah. That has got them to a place where they've got their lives back together, and they're now getting their children back. And the statistics show that someone that has been taking even methadone, they have a 75% better chance at getting into recovery when they have done that. And I didn't realize there were such statistics out there. And do I think they should stay on them permanently? No. I think they should take off the training wheels, work with the doctor, go down from it. But if you're going to die and lose everything you got, and that's the only thing that's going to try to get you clean, then I think, like Bill said, to thine own self be true. You know, do what you got to do to try to get some recovery. And hopefully you can, you know, I have a sponsee that recently went off of MAT, and she's off the training wheels and she's doing great. And I'm really proud of her, you know. She's still showing up. She still makes those calls, you know, and she decided that on her own. It had nothing to do with my suggestion to her or anything, because I didn't give her one. You know, I didn't even, when I first started sponsor, I didn't even know she was on it. And I'm not here to judge anybody. If you're wanting help, the hand's supposed to be there. We're here to help you along your way. And if it gets to a point that you feel like you shouldn't be on it, then you probably shouldn't be on it. But if you feel like that's something you need to try to get clean, then I say go for it.
Yeah, MAT is something that's definitely a very useful drug, worked in conjunction with a therapist and a doctor. And you take their advice and not some jailhouse lawyer from the streets, you know what I mean? And I think you need to first be educated on the difference between AA and NA, because that saying has never been said in either one. A drug is a drug, period. It's in NA. They talk about alcohol is a drug, period, because you got all these meth addicts and heroin addicts that say, well, I can still drink on the weekends because I'm not doing meth or heroin. And that's where it's like, no, alcohol is a drug as well. And so that's really just clarifying the lines when you're in an NA meeting, that switching from, you know, cocaine to alcohol is not good, because alcohol is just a bad drug as the rest, period. And maintenance on a whole different level. That's taking modern technology and the use of psychiatry and doctors to help you straighten out your mind, and you use it until you're done using that, until you're sick of that, you know. And it's something that I've seen, just like Tracy said, people get their lives back in order as long as it takes them, and it's their recovery. To thine own self be true, like Bill just said, to do what they got to do to get themselves living in the straight and narrow.
Yeah. A lot of these opiates too, they're like genetically modified to jack up your brain. So you sometimes need another medication genetically modified to get your brain off of it. Is what it seems like.
You also need to keep in mind that the human body actually produces an opiate of itself along with your endorphins. And people who get on opioids, once they stop hitting themselves with that great big pleasure hammer, their body has stopped making that. And sometimes their body will never make it again. And so they might have to do something different in order for their body to function normal.
That's true. That goes with that's the same way with people that use steroids. Yeah. Because steroids, at the base of it is a testosterone, and young men that take a steroid supplement, a testosterone supplement, their body stops producing testosterone. So then they're on some type of a supplement the rest of their life because they've just, they've hurt their bio. Yep. Just exactly what you're saying.
I binge watched that Dope Sick while I had COVID, and oh boy, was I mad at the whole Purdue thing. I mean, I watched this little girl go from a sweet little girl that got hurt in the mind to being so addicted to the what is that? Oh,
Oxycontin.
And they were trying to tell you for so long that it was not addictive. I don't know who was telling them that, but everybody I ever seen get on that eventually ended up either in the hospital or dead.
Yeah.
Shoot, they put it on the label.
Yeah, they had it on the label.
Yeah.
Out of one little 5-sentence article that some guy wrote on a study of people in a hospital, the FDA approved it. Couldn't believe it. I was really mad by the time I was done with that.
Yeah, I've studied it out. That's why we went live half an hour early. Those couple episodes was to talk crap on stupid Sackler family and Purdue Pharma.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
People also need to be careful too if they're doing Suboxone and stuff that they're doing it as they're supposed to. I've heard of people shooting it up and saving up, taking more than they should, buying other people's. It can become an addiction all in itself. We're addicts, and unless you're willing to do the work, and that's what those steps are there for, the medication's not going to be enough. You got to change what you were doing and figure out why you were doing what you're doing to get some help.
Yep.
I can give you a little bit of a thing on that. The first time after I got clean that I took a non-narcotic pain reliever, it didn't get me high, and it messed up my head. I'm like, hey, I'm not getting high. I went to my sponsor, and he said, you took a non-narcotic pain reliever for a reason, right? It's not supposed to get you high. But, in my head as an addict, I was thinking I should feel altered. And it's the way we think. It truly is. The drugs are just a symptom. How we use the drugs is just a symptom of what the real problem is. It's the way we think about it.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. All right, Linky has one more joke, and then we'll pray us out.
God, grab me.
Let's go.
Did you hear the story about the claustrophobic astronaut? He just needed some space.
Oh. I love you, Link.
Ready, Linky?
Yeah.
God grant us
Grant
the
us
serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. Jamie says you are funny, Linky.
You're funny.
All right, next Sunday we will pick back up on step 1 with Russel Brand's book. And until then, do not put yourself in a high-risk situation. Stay strong, work your program, and remember,
we recover better together.